we need a header. So let's add header into that. So let's go back to the login section. So we need to have a header here. The way we are going to do it, we're going to do it in a very unique way. So we'll go back to our header component. Let's go back to our header component. This is our header component. Let's bring it out. Yes, this is the header component. So we'll go to, so we'll come here. Let's add what I call page title. So view page title is optional. And it's going to be a string. The page title is going to be a string. And we can leave the rest here. So we'll come here. Yes, we'll come here. Leave this. And then we're going to call if page title is true. If it's not equal to undefined. Okay, sorry, I've not passed my page title here. So let's pass page title. Let's see if it's not undefined. So let's code that to them. Let's format here. And what we're going to do now is so let's format here. Let's copy this first. Here. And we're going to copy it and adjust it. So we're going to do so let's see. First of all here. Let's remove this. Remove this. Remove this. But then remove this. Imagine horizontal. Imagine horizontal and press. Save. Previous. Then this is my icon here. Select my icon. This is previous. Previous. And call this set my icon. We have arrow back. We have arrow back. My icon. Let's get it. Let's make it white. We have this next one. Next one. Specify content. The center. Select items to be center. I'm going to use the I'm going to pass the title here. For this we will have so this will have pages on here. We'll have that design. What is on press? So we start, we start. So my horizontal. My horizontal is 10. So that's it. Now we remove it. Already here. So we're good to go. So we're good to go now. So from our card screen, we're going to pass the props. So it's supposed to be previous here too. So we're going to go here. So we're going to pass from our navigation. Where is it? From our navigation, from our root navigation. Yeah. So from our parameters here, from our cart parameters we will pass, let's call it screen name, and then give it string. So we can also pass that to our tab navigator. So screen name will pass string. So we save this, and then we also save this. So we save the both of them, and then come You can leave them now, and inside our cart screen, we'll go to our procedures. So we'll come to our procedure. So when we get to the proceed, we also need to pass that parameter to our login screen. Yes, we need to pass it to our login screen. That's what we use to interact with all the screens pertaining regarding their screen, their page title. So you can just pass that way. So we're saying screen name, or we can even call it page title. Let's call it page title. So screen title. Let's call it screen title, and let's say string. So let's call it screen title. So it's going to pass the screen title to all the screens. That's let's pass this one too. Okay. So come here now. If you go to our cart screen, from our cart screen now, you see that if I prompt, see it's already bringing screen title, and then we can pass the screen title name to it. So we're going to call it, let's say, user authentication. Let's call it user authentication. You can give it any name you like. So this is it. This is user authentication. Will come. So when we come to our login page, the user authentication page, because it's not only login that is there, we also so we go to our login registration page. Yes, this is it. So when we come here, we're going to get the page title here. So we'll bring it here. Let's bring in our header component, and then we're going to pass. We're going to pass page title. Yes. So here, page title will be, let's say, const. Let's destructure it from the route of params, and inside that we have what we call is bringing it up screen title. So I'm going to give it what screen title that will go from there, and you see what will happen now. Cool. So we're actually not supposed to be having this header there. So let me check what happened. So let's go back there again. Good, and now it's working. When we were already in the login page before we passed the screen title. So that parameter, the route, there was no parameter in the route then. So that was why he wasn't able to pick it. So I just went back to this cart screen and then use proceed again, and everything works. That's just it. Nothing special about it. So this is what we have here. So let me increase the font size of the text. So we can come here. Where is it? In our header component. Let's increase the font size. Font size like it. Good. So it's this way. So we use authentication, and if I press the arrow back button, you have. So you should go back. Where's the go back function? So let's go to previous function. We have to previous yes. We have to previous here. So let's create the function. We already have some here. Let's see. Okay, where's the product details? Okay, let's just write it directly. So let's go back here. Now go back here. So go to previous will be. Let's write the function. Previous will be navigation. Let's go back. That's all. So if I press it now, good. This is working fine, isn't it? And you can see it's rendering different headers there. In the cart screen, see the header is different because there's no page title there, so it's rendering the other header. But here that we define the page title, see the header is rendering. Everything is working out fine, isn't it? Good. So we can go ahead. We can move ahead now, and then since we already logged in, so we need to get we need to pass the user. We need to pass the user ID, the login ID of the user into our user context so that we can track it from there. So we'll pass it to our user context now. That's the next thing we want to do. Okay. So So we'll come here. Now that the user login is successful, we'll use effect to pass the user login ID or the token that we saved. We want to pass it into our user context so that we can use it as the user login session ID. So to do that, we'll come here, we'll use effect and just write code. Let's see it's constant fetch user. Constant fetch user, and then it's going to be an async. So it's going to be an async. So we'll now say constant. Let's take the token. Token for now, let's make it any because we're going to pass it through async storage. So we're going to say await. Let's bring in async storage. So initially we use async storage dot set item. So to get the item that we set now, we'll use get item. So we're going to use async dot get item. So there's what we call get item. You can see it already popping up. So get item, and then we save it as what? Auth. If you remember, where is it? So you can see we saved it as auth here, auth token. That's what we set this token as. That's what we saved it as. So that's what this auth token means. We're just saving this token as auth token. So we can get here and come and use what? Auth token. Authentication token. So that's it. That's all we need to pass in here. So we can now, so from there now we can now set the get user ID because we're passing it through async storage. That's why I had to use any here. So once we have been able to get it here, we know that we are getting a string from there. So that's the thing. So we're just going to set that string now. So get user ID. Remember get user ID. Where is it from? Our, okay, we've not import. I think we have it. So let's bring that up. So it's supposed to be from our user context. From our user context, that's where we'll get that from. So from our user context, let's just say, okay, let me write it up here so that you can see when it imports it. So we're going to say const. We want to destructure our user context by use context. We'll use context, yes, from React. So to bring use context from React, and is equal to what we defined. If you remember, we defined user type. So user type from our user context. So, and then inside it we have our get user ID and set get user ID. So we have our user ID and get user ID. So that's what we're saving it as. So we'll now come to our use effect. Inside our use effect, we will pass that get user ID. So we're passing this get user ID. So get user ID, and we're going to make it equal to string because it's an ID. We know that it's going to be a string. So we're going to make it equal to string, and it's what the token. Do you understand? That's what's just going on. And for us to be sure that it was passed, let's console it, console.log, and let's use let's call it this is the new user ID, and let's pass the get user ID. That's it. So for the use effect, so we'll come here now and call this function because we need to call it. Then, oh yeah, we've not set. We need to set get user ID to the get user ID so that we can pass it into our use effect. So to our user context. So be equal to get user ID here. So we've passed this get user ID into this set, and then so once we pass this into this place, set get user ID, it will pass into our user context, our user type. So to pass it into this place, that's what it's saying. That's what it means. So from here now, it has been passed into this place. So we can bring this down here. So we can pass this in here, and we want it to run. Okay, we need to call the function. We have not called the function, so let's call fetch user. So we can instantiate it, and then we want it to run once. once the app loads. So passing our dependent already. That's it. So I need to reconnect to my bundler. It has gone off, so I've been connected back to it. So I've been connected back, and you can see already it's bringing up what the user ID. This is cool, isn't it? That means it's working. You can see we have the user ID there. It's live. So if we go back to our cart screen, so I think that's all about this. So we've been able to pass the user section ID into the entire app just from this use effect. Now we've been able to pass it into that user type, that user context that we created, and we can have access to it everywhere in the app, in our app. So we'll go back to our cart screen, so we can navigate to the delivery section. So we'll now come here. We're supposed to create if everything is fine. So if get user ID is not equal to null, now if I press proceed, it won't go back to the login page because our get user ID is no longer equal to null. So if I press, you see it's not moving. It's not moving because we've not created the navigation for this place. So that's what it's waiting for. It's waiting for the prompt there. So what we'll do quickly, we go to our root navigator. So where's our navigation? And then from there we'll go to our root navigator and let's create the delivery screen, the checkout screen. So after here, we'll come and let's call it checkout information. And then inside the checkout, we will have, I think we have, almost the same with this. So we have these and some. So we need these, we need the ID, we need email, we need password, we need confirm password. No, we don't need confirm password. We don't need confirm password, we don't need even password. So we need the first name, the last name, the email, the mobile number. We need the delivery information. Yes, we need the delivery information. We need the delivery information, and that is string. We call this string. We need the region. We need the city too. We need the city too. Yes, we need the city too. And we may not need the so that's it. Let's save it for now, and let's create the screen here. Okay, before we create the screen, let's come to our source and go to screen. Yes, let's call it delivery screen. So inside delivery screen, let me copy my cart screen because we are going to be needing most of the things here, and we can then remove the ones that we really don't need. Let me bring this here, user context, we don't need it for now. So let me dump it here so that I won't waste time. So cart screen, there's our product details. Let me bring product details here because we'll be needing something close from it. So instead of our product details, we need this. Our product details is throwing an error. Oh, this is our previous. Yes, we need to pass. So we'll come to, where is it? So we have our return. Because we used the value often. So we're using the value. So this one from screen cross, restack screen cross, now we want to find it. So we need to get this out. So let's make it constant. Let's check out. checkout info. Let's call it checkout default here. Delivery screen. Checkout delivery screen. Let's give it a name. Delivery screen. And then let's export default delivery screen. Yes, so we can come to our navigator here and then import delivery screen. Copy. So call it our checkout info. We have checkout info. Yeah. And then we're going to call it delivery screen. Good. It's bringing up delivery screen, and we're good to go. So we'll come here. See there, it's already connecting it. So we'll come here and bring out the screen. Did it import delivery screen? Yes. Yes, we're able to import delivery screen. Then we'll come here. Okay, did we save it here? Yes. Then we'll come here. Okay, did we import rooster param props? No, we have not. That's where the problem is. That's where the problem is coming from. Rooster params. Rooster screen props. Yes, so it has been imported. That's the problem. That was where the problem came from. You can see it's bringing it up already. And then we have checkout info. That's it. You see, there's no error anymore, and we're back. Good. There's no error anymore. We're back. We're good to go. Everything is working fine. So we have our checkout page set up. So from our cart screen now, if we come to our cart screen and then we go to our proceed, now we can move it to our, so we can proceed to our checkout. So navigate, and it's bringing out our checkout info. Cool, and everything is fine. So if I press proceed now, we should be able to have access to our checkout page. Cool, we're live at the checkout page. So from our checkout page, we can get started. So let's go to our checkout page, our delivery screen. Let's give this a style. Let's give it a style of, let's be proper. Let's put that down here. So second style, consistency. So style sheet, style sheet of create. Focus of page proper. So page proper. So style sheet of create, style sheet is imported. So let's put style sheet. Yes, style sheet here. Style sheet, yeah. So there is one. So let's give it padding top. So let's write that. Where's it? Yeah, this thing here. Bring it here. So let's flex. One. Maybe background color. And we're going to retain the background color block. Change good. It has changed. So we'll come back to our. So we're going to write our header component. So you see it's bringing the header component, but we don't want to use this header component. We want to use the other header component. Do you understand? So what we can do here is we'll come to with the cart screen, and where we're navigating, we can give it what the screen title, you see. So we'll give it that the screen title will be checkout details, or we can call it delivery. Let's call it checkout details. So we'll call it checkout details. So that's what we're passing. It's that simple. And then we'll come to our delivery screen and give it a page title. Page title is going to be coming from our route. So const, let's just structure the route, and then route.params. Let's bring out the screen title, and then this will be equal to the screen title. That's it. So just like what happened the last time, so we need to go back. We need to go back to our cart screen, and then we'll come here. You see it has changed. Cool, isn't it? This is beautiful. It has changed because we have what you can see how we bring dynamism into this. So that's it. It has changed. We now have our checkout details displayed. So we will do the go to previous too. So go to previous. Let me just write it in line here. So we're going to say navigation.goback. navigation, they'll go back. That's it. So if I go back here, good. This is beautiful. You see they are generating different header. This is beautiful, isn't it? So we can continue, and so we'll continue. Let's scroll view. So scroll view here. Start. And then show. Let's go. Let's go. So where is eventually? Start. So we're going to have different steps. I'll just write them. So steps. There's not a step. So let's go right. So the first one we talk about is step of container replies. So let's say container reply. Oh, sorry, it's supposed to be double. Whereas it's supposed to be single. So let's call these content reply so they can see to what we're really doing. Content reply. Let's change it to content reply. We're going to give that a color. Let's give it a color of. We're going to leave margin 0. Margin top. Okay, sorry, I have an error because of these ones. So we're going to write them. So call your step. Okay, so one step. And the last one is steps content. Supposed to be this. So let's go back to the page again. So cool. This is beautiful, isn't it? So this is what we want to have here. So we're going to, let's write the styles. So we're going to have steps container. We're going to give a flex of 1. We'll give an horizontal 20, and we'll give an of 20 as well. So of 20. And for steps container, we'll give this flex direction. We're going to row. We're going to give it align items to the center. To the center, we'll give it margin top. Or margin bottom. We'll give margin bottom of 20, and give specify content, and it's going to be space between. So we'll go. So we're going to read the steps. Let's start with the steps itself. So we'll come here and create steps. So we're going to say const steps. We're going to have title. The title, the first one will be the address page, and then the content we want it to render will be, for the page there, it will be address form. Yes. And this is supposed to be an array. It's an array. Yes, so we go. So I'm good to go. It's an array. Then we want to render 4. Okay, let's render 3. We're going to render 3 steps. So the second one will be the second one will be payment. So payment, and then payment details. Then the third one is order summary. And then we also want to render delivery option. Might take out the delivery option later, but for now let's just put it. So we're going to call this delivery. So we're good to go. Then we'll come here and say const, say current step, and set current step. The use state, So use state from React, use state, and the initial step will be 0. We have 1, 2, 3. We have 4 steps here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you know the way numbers are counted, it starts from 0. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3. So we're starting from what? 0. That is the address form. That will be the initial step. And then we want to pass this into, we want to pass TypeScript into this as well. And sorry, I want to pass TypeScript into this. Let's call it current step. Let's write the TypeScript for that. So inside our type, let's write the TypeScript for our delivery. So let's call it delivery props.tsx. So inside the delivery props, we're going to export. This is the step that we wrote there. So let's make it a type. We're going to make it equal to number. That's it. So if we come to this place now, let's call it yes. Good. So we're good to go. So that's it. So now we can get started with our form. So let's call in the first, let's map through the steps, and then from there we can render all the steps one after the other, so that as the form for the checkout. So we're going to call steps. So pass the optional chaining to it, and we're going to map through because it's an array. So we'll map through it, and then for each step with an index, we're going to render for each step. So for each step, we're going to call a view. We're going to call a view. So this view is supposed to be self-closing tag. That's why we're having the error. Oh, and the style. Since it's an array of style, it's supposed to be one curly brace. Curly brace. Yeah, you can see the error is gone. We're writing an array of style, so it's supposed to be one curly brace. So we're good to go. So we're another style here. See? So we items. So good. I'm just going to explain everything now, so you can see what we've been able to do so far. So let me just explain from the beginning. So remember, we declared 4 steps earlier on, and we want to map through them. So this is what's going on. So I'm mapping through those steps, and then we're saying here, if the index is greater than 0, that means the first step has been completed. That's what it means. That means we've gone beyond the first step, because the index, the initial index is 0, which is the address, that's 0. Let me just quickly show you. So this one now, this is the first step, that is address, that is 0. Remember, it counts from 0, 1, 2, 3. So the first index is 0, which means the address. So we are saying now, if it's greater than 0, this is what it will render. So for that, it's going to give a background color of what? Green. That means this address, the circle to this address, will become green. That's what it's saying if it's greater than 0. And then if the index is less than or equal to the current step, that's if the index is less than or equal to the current step, it will give you what? It will also give you what? A background of what? Of green, a background color of green. So that's what we are combining there. And we will now come here. We now came here that we created another view here. So that view, the initial, we gave it an array of style. We create another view and give it an array of style, and we're passing a condition here that if the index is less than the current step, that means that step has been completed. Just think about it. If the index, now currently we are at index 0, and that's our correct step. Our current step is 0 because that's our initial. We passed the current step, the initial step to what? 0. You can see we passed the initial step to 0. So that means our current step is 0, and our current index is also what? 0, because that's where we're starting from. We're looping from it. So we're now saying we're saying if the index is less than the current step, but in our present state now, the index is equal to the current step. So we say if it's less than the current step, that means that step has been completed. Does it make sense? So as a result of that, it's going to give a background color of what? Of green, to show that, okay, this step has been completed. So we are now saying, okay, so this is the view. So this is the style we passed in for that view. So we're now coming inside that view now and saying if the index is less than so we're now passing the real action we want to display. So we're now saying if the index is less than the current step, just like we did here, then we are giving in a what? We are bringing a text, and that text we pass in this code. This code is for check. So it will check and mark it and shows that, okay, this step has been completed. So that's what we're just doing here. Does it make sense? Else, if it's not checked, we should just increase the remaining index. So that would be the index plus 1, and our current index is 0. So increase them. And that's why, so if it's not checked, that's why we are saying index plus 1. So that's why we got 1 inside here. That was how we got 1. So index plus 1. Instead of, if not, it would have rendered as 0. If we say, okay, let me just say 0 now, you see what I'm talking about. So let me just use it as 0. Let me just use that index. You will see you see it's counting 0, 1, 2, 3. So we don't want that situation. We want to actually count from 1. It makes sense, right? So that's why we added what? Index plus 1. And you see, cool, that's beautiful. So we are giving a criteria that if any of this circle is not checked, so we should retain, it should count it. That's what's happening. So that's why we have index plus 1. That's why we have 1, 2, 3, 4. But if it is checked, it will check. If that index, if it's not equal to the current index, it will mark it and it will check it. So this one will become marked, and we will still have what? 2, 3, and 4. Does it make sense? So you will see everything shortly. You'll see how everything works shortly. So we'll continue, and that's how we're able to render our title. So we now render the title under them. So this is the one that we use for the circle. To create the circle, you can see it has a border radius of 15. So we use it to create the circle. We use the width 30 and height 30 also to create the circle, and then we give it a background color, the initial background color, and then we came here that if the index is less than the current step, so it will change that background color. It will change it from this color and give it word green. That's just everything that we did here. So we can continue. So the next thing is we are going to now render the UI for each step. We want to render the UI, the front end for each step. So we'll come here and say, so we want to render for the current step, for the first step. So let's just say, so we're going to call current step. So if the current step is 0, we will render the screen for the current step for 0. So if the current step is 0, that's where we want to pass the user address, the address, everything related to address. That's what we want to pass now. So you can see so far, this is what we're able to come up with. And then you can come here and say, so we'll come back and create the address screen. So let's just write everything about this step, then we'll go and create the address screen. So we'll create the address. Let's give it start. Let's give it font size 16 and font weight. Cool. Let's get margin top. Let's get margin top 10. Correct. It's cool. Okay. So bring our root navigation. Come here, let's create. Okay, let's create the screen for. Let's create the address. We'll come to our screen and create address form. Address form.tsx. So inside address form, I think it will be similar to our login form. They have so many similarities. So let's go to the login form and copy some of the things there. So let's copy this. Bring it to the address form. Where's the address form? Yeah, this is the address form. We'll bring it here. Then we'll take the ones that will not do, we take them out. So let's say, okay, where's my login form? We're also going to need this. We're going to call it, let's call it add address. So in here we're going to use let's create that route into our route navigator. It's called a user address. And it's going to have almost everything in common with this. So we can still maintain. Okay, let's just make it unique, but we can maintain this because they're almost the same. But it's just, okay, yeah, we have to create different route for them. So we're going to have the ID. I don't need the ID. We don't need the ID here. But we need the first name, the last name, email, billing, mobile number, delivery info, region, city, and screen name. We need all that here. So let's save this address form so we can import it here in our route navigator. So we'll come to our route stack and then change this to user address. Then we'll call it add address, right? Yes, add address. So it has been imported. What did we call it here? User address. Okay, we need to link them up from here now. So it's user address. Cool, everything is working fine. This place is also working fine. Let's save it. So I think we're good to go. Let's go to our user address form. Inside our user address form, so it's just similar to our registration form, login and registration form. They're similar. So we're just going to copy some things from there to make it faster. So like this, now we'll need this. Just copy this too. Then we'll need this. We need the form and we need the handle. Then we need the submit. So we can just copy it and then edit them accordingly here. So we'll need confirm password. We need delivery info. Delivery info. We need delivery info. We need the region. We need the city. And the screen name. Screen title here. Screen title. Yes, screen title. We need that. We also get this user type. We have put it here. So the first name. We need the password. So we need the delivery info. We need the region. We need the city. Then we need screen title. Then we'll call this user address form. User address form. Set user address form. That's going to be equal to user address. User form for param. User form params. Is equal to user forms param. User form params. And then we're going to handle. Here we're going to say okay. Yeah, it's reset user address form. Yes, it's going to be equal to user address. It's equal to user address form. Right? Yes, it's equal to user address form. Oh, there's a mistake. Yes, user address form. And the field name text, that's the same way we did. And the field name is string and string. Field name text, exactly. That's what we need to do. So handle. So let's call this handle and change text. Handle and change text. Yes, handle and change text. Then that's it. So we'll come here. With our okay, make it here. We can see it. So let's submit address form. Submit address form. Submit that. So we're going to use the user route, and then we're going to have addresses because the user can have more than one address. So here we're going to be passing. We'll pass an object. Pass it We pass get user ID, user address form. We're going to pass everything into it, and then this will be set. So we're going to set user address form. Set user address form. Set user address form equal to user address form, so that it becomes empty. And then we're going to take this out. We're going to set time out. Set time. Navigation go back. Navigation go back and be 5 seconds. Okay, just make it 5 seconds. That will be fast on success. And then catch error and alert. I say. Then just alert the say error, and then let's alert the error. I need to console it here. So I think everything is fine so far. And then we need to copy that handle keyboard dismiss. We're going to be using a form here to form data, so we need to also make sure that the keyboard is not overlapping our form. So to do that, I think we should just copy it from our log reg since we've written it before. There's also one more thing. We need to copy the use effect. Yes, this to be able to track. So let me just copy these two together. Then we'll need our screen. Okay, we've already destructured that. So we'll come here, place the use effect here, and then copy this out, cut this and bring it down here. So inside our use effect, we want it to, so that's what we will use to fetch. We used to fetch the user data. We're using the ID because we want to update the user's account in the database. So there's inside the database, remember we created, there was a space for user address, and it's an array. So that's the reason why we need to get the user ID. So we need this use effect to get the user ID so we can pass it here. So that's it. So let's quickly write the UI. Even the UI won't be wasting time because most of the things we need to use we have already used them during our login process. So I'll just go to login again and copy from there. Makes it faster. They're almost the same. Okay, let me just copy everything here, and then we can take one out of it and discard the rest. So we can now press this, then everything up. So this is now with 8 as well. So far, let's do something from here. So take this out. So let's do everything up. So I think it's better now. So I have so I now the screen title here. So for the screen title here, we'll come when we're passing it to, okay, let's say, so for the screen title, when we're passing here, yes, go to address. When we're passing to go to navigate. When we're passing, go to navigate. So we can now pass the screen title. We're passing to user, let's call it user address details. So we're going to get the screen title, which is equal to, so it's user address details. That's it when we're moving from here. So that's what we're passing. We can just say screen title, yes. can do it this way. So this is it. So when we're now coming to our user address now, this is what we're passing here. That's what we're receiving. So we're receiving that screen title. So we're receiving that screen title. Okay, so we're receiving this screen title. So let's say, for example, okay, there's a point we're not yet in the address one because the errors there. So what I just do, okay, we're passing the screen title. We're passing the screen title and then so go ahead and go back. So let's say the we're passing the handle, we're passing the handle, we're passing this to it, then keyboard. Okay, let's go with that. Scroll view shows that yes, we're using this scroll view and then we can. Let's start. Let's give the margin top. Let's give the margin top 50. So let's pass this keyboard again. Let's also scroll view and let's remove this keyboard. So we are going to call this and this is the new address. So let's call this new address and then this one to bold. We're going to do this one now. Okay, let's do that UI first. Where's the keyboard? Yes, we need to remove this keyboard from here. So let's remove some of the card here so that they can go with it. So they won't recognize this. So we're going to go. We're going to recognize this as well. So everything is fine. So if we navigate to our address form, let's see what we have. Cool. Isn't this beautiful? This is beautiful, isn't it? You can see you have user address details. So, and if we go back, cool. This is beautiful. So that's all we need to do now. So we need to render the address. So enter a new address. Then the bottom is supposed to be add address, not login. Add address. Go. So let's make the size so you can see everything. You can see quantities here. So let's give a call of this. Let's give it FFC 7 to C. Let's give it padding. Let's give it padding. Give it from padding. Okay. Then get the address is fine. Let's specify content. Let's give margin top. So let's give margin top. Margin top 20. I think we'll do. So I think we'll do also here. So we can start with we can start the text. So the first thing we're going to is the first name that's represented. We're going to bring this down so you can see these types there. So you can see the text there. And down. Okay. So let's start. So for here now we have so this will be user address form. User address form, the first name, and here you this equal to text equal to handle on change. Yes, we call this handle on change. Handle on change text. That's it. So everything is visible now. So we have handle on change text for the first one. So we can for the second one. Is it correct? So we'll space it for both. We need 7, 5 more times. 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So we'll change the quantity. So this will be this for first name, and then this will be user address form last name. So this will be for last name, this is also last name. Also last name. For email, this is last name. This is also for email. This is email as well. I think we also have mobile number. This is mobile number. So this will be the email address. So I think we're good to go. Yes, everything set. So I'm going to submit address. Yes, on press. So I think we're done with the front end. Let's check our animations. So you see the animation is working perfectly well. You see it's working very well. It's working very fine. That's beautiful, isn't it? So quickly, let's go and create the route at the back end so we can submit the form. Yes, you'll come to our user controller. Yes, this is our user controller. And then we're going to create. So it's going to be similar to the registration form as well. So we can just copy the registration form. So the registration form, adjust it accordingly. So let's create user address. Create user address. Sync. So what we're going to do here is our trunk catalog. Let's move this one now. This is our trunk catalog. Since we're passing to an object. Where's the address form? Yes, we're passing two objects. Pass two objects into it. Does it get user ID and user address form? So that's what we'll be looking at. That's what we'll be calling. That's what we want to receive from the back end. So if we come to the back end now, this is what we want to receive from the back end here. So we'll come here and let's have them here. We're going to destructure from our request.body. And it's going to use our user, it will use our user address. We created that. Okay, no, we have to create the TypeScript for it as well. So let's create the TypeScript first. Where's our DTO? Yes, it's here. So let's create our user address props. So let's call it export interface, user address props. Then let's copy this. I think I'm going to use this here. And then password and confirm password. With the first name, the last name, email, mobile number. We have delivery info. Let's use delivery info. So delivery info is also a string. So delivery info is also a string. We need the region. Region is a string as well. We need the city, which is also a string. And then we need the ID. Yes, we need the ID. Yes, I think that's all we need from here. Then we'll come to export interface. So we're going to user address. Let's go user address params. So we're going to pass the user address. We're going to pass the user address form. We're going to pass the user address props into it. And then we're going to call the user ID and the optional. So that's it. So we'll come here and pass this user address params, yes. And inside the user address params, remember we have the user form, we have the get user ID, yes, we have the get user ID, and then we have the user address form, yes. So we're going to call the two out. So that's the idea. So that's what we'll type check. So we're going to say constant. Let's clean this. We don't need this. So let's do const. Let's check the user by the address. Let's check the user by the ID. So user, I think we call it user log dot find by ID. And then we're getting what the user get user ID. You can see it making sense. It's making sense, right? So we want to check if that ID exists in the database in our user collection. So if it's not there, I want to throw an error with a response. Let's just copy this. Let's throw an error with a response 404, and then say user not found. Let's return the message. User not found. So else, what we will now do now, we will add it. If it's found, then we will now inside user there's user address info. Yes, we created user address info inside user, so we get that. You can see it's bringing it up already. User address info, and we'll use a method called push. So push the user address form into it. That's the idea. And then can console.log that, so we'll see it if it really worked. Console.log. So we'll console.log user address info. Yes, so that we can get it out. And then we need to save. Await user and save, because if we don't save it, don't save it. So that's the idea. I think that's all we need to do. And so yes, await user.save, and then we can see. Do we really need to return any message? No, we don't need to return any message. So come here and say, okay, if there's an error, return the error. Failed. Okay, so it's an error code. An error occurred. So that's it. That's it. That's what we need here. An error occurred. Let me move this down so we can see this. So I think we are good to go here. So the next thing is we'll go to our route and create the route for it from our route file. So we just post this for now. So we're going to get what did we call it? We called it addresses. Yes, I think we called it addresses. Addresses, and it will addresses, and then we called it create. Yes. So we're getting addresses, and then we call it create. Oh, sorry, we have not added that to the index. That's why it's not bringing it up. So let's get our index, our controller index. This is the controller index. Okay, I think it's okay. So we need to get create user addresses. Yes, we don't need to put it in the index. We've done it once and that's all. So just to check, let's be sure that it was addresses. Yes, it was addresses. We called it addresses. So we called it addresses. So that's what. Let's paste it here so that I won't make any mistake. So addresses. And I think that's all. That's everything we have to do here. Then we also need to fetch. Yes, let's just create the fetch function so that we can just proceed from here. So we also need to fetch the address so we can display it at the front end. So for that reason, let's see if we can get everything, any fetch. No, we didn't write, so we just create one. Don't want us to go to product to get that, so we just write one quickly. Let's call it fetch user address. Async. Okay, and just request response. So we're going to have to be request of params. Because we are going to get the address by user ID, by the user login ID. So we can console that, console.log. Let's say this is user ID at address level, so we can be sure it's speaking. So now we can be sure it's speaking to this. Then we can pass. So that will be sure that we got the ID. So we're not saying const user. Let's go to await user log. So we're going to find by ID. And what we're getting is get user ID. So we can just copy this. We would have just copied this. It's still the same. So if no user was found, say user not found, else we'll fetch the user. Else we'll fetch the user address. So we'll call it const user address equal to user dot inside user. There's user address info. That's it. And then we're going to return. So let's just copy this. There's nothing, we don't need this. So we need to bring it here. So here we'll return so that we can have access to it in the front, at the front end. So we'll return because it's an object. The user address is definitely an object. So let me. So we'll return the user address back to the front. So we can also console.log that so that you can see that we actually fetched it from the back end from our database. So let's call it user address array, and then let's call it user address. Yes, and now we're good to go. So we've been able to write for that. So inside our route, we need to create that route as well. So we'll come here. We have not created the function from the front end, but at least we know that we're almost together. That's the only thing we just need to do there. So here it's a get request, and then let's still maintain these addresses, and we're going to pass the ID, get user ID. This one is going to be from fetch. It will be from fetch user address. Yes, I think we're good to go. Everything is fine. That's all we need to write as well. So we can now go to our front end now, and let's pass the data. So I'm going to quickly fill the form from here. Let's go back, add address. So I call the first one is Melina at gmail.com. So in Abuja, so I will say Abuja. So on region is FCT. You can choose Abuja and say Abuja, Nigeria. So that's it. And let's try to submit our form. Okay, we have an error here. So let's check out from the front end. So we look into the front end to see where the error came from. Okay, honestly, this shouldn't be there. It's not part of the parameter. It's not part of the form params. So this shouldn't be here. We should remove that too. And then we can leave the screen here. This one, user params. I don't think there's any problem with this. Yes, user address console.log. Okay, let's go back to the back end. Okay, this one, let's bring this one up. You should have user address form. User address form. Let's save that. Let's go back to our TSX user address props. Oh, we already have user address props here, so there's no point. If it's saying the error is saying call size, that's field size mismatch or misformed, that means there's something wrong with our feed size here. Probably the field, but this okay. Yes, this okay. We passed 7 params. Yes. So let's check our model. Something is wrong. Let's check our model. So we passed everything. First name, last name, email, mobile, delivery, region. Wow, see where the error is. I just know, I knew it. See where the error is. It's supposed to be address 1R. There are 2R there, 2 R's. So we remove this R because we are passing user address info. Where is our controller? Let's go back to our controller. You can see we are looking for user address info. There's 1 R here, whereas there's 2. We have 2 in the other place. So I think everything should be fine now. So let's try it again. Then I want to take this back. Okay. Quickly, I'll write Marlena at gmail.com. Mobile 00965. Let's write something there. Alright, sector 54B. Sector 54B, we'll say, and the city is Abuja. Abuja, Nigeria. So we're good to go. Everything should work fine now. Okay, and before that, okay, we'll console the log user. Let me bring this here. Let's use user array. So we can console, we can have it at the back end too. So let's wait for it to load. Okay, so if we load it, cool, everything works fine. And you can see first name, it brought them first name, last name, everything worked well. So, and it has gone back to our address. So let's go to the front end. So we have our address. This is cool, isn't it? And if we go there again, you see the address is empty. So now that we have successfully submitted the user address, it is time to fetch the address and display all the address that the user has in the database. So the user can select the address, also process the delivery address. So from there now, okay, we're done with address form. Let's go back to our delivery screen. So from our delivery screen now, let's scroll down. So we'll come here and then let's do view. Give it start. Give it start of next direction. Align right center. Let's give it color. Let's give it white. Go 7 bottom. Give it away, bottom width. Okay, let's close this one. And let's go for the use state. So constant address and set address. It's going to be use state. And the user address will be an array because the user may have more than one address, delivery address, and you can update it. So it's going to be an array, and then we are going to write the type for it. Also going to write the type for it. So let's go to our delivery props and then write the types for it. Interface, let's call the user address. So it will be similar to the ones we wrote for the back end. So let me just go there and pick it. Where's the user DTO? Yes. So it will be similar to this. It's almost the same. To the user props. So we just copy and paste here. That's it. We can save it. Then we come. We're going to call user address. Yes. And we have to make it an array. That's it. Then we're going to write constant option. Okay, you can leave that for now. Then we need to get the user ID. Okay, let's just copy that from where's our address form. That we have the yes, this is it. So we're going to map through the address so we can get the user address. So we're going to map through the address. Okay, let me just use AD as address here, or each address rather. And we have to give it, because it's an array, so we must give it a type of user address. For each of it must be a type of user address. It must to throw an error. So that's it. There's no error. except for the fact that we have to. So we're going to quickly create a component. Let me just put so that the error can go away. So we'll create a component. I think what we'll do here, let's go out of screen. Let's go to our component folder. Yes, here. Because we are going to be using quite a lot of components for, so let's create a folder inside our component and call it delivery component. So inside that, let's create delivery address.tsx. Then let's create another component too. We're going to call it order info. Let's call it order info.tsx. So for now, these are the two addresses we will need. So we'll come to the delivery address. Let's go to the delivery address and copy. Where's our user form? Let's copy most of the things there. So data. So this is something. So delivery process delivery address. Right here. We're going to export. Okay. This is a component here, so that's why it's panel with the version. And the ones we'll need. So we also need this storage here. We don't need user type D. Because we're going to use this storage. I'm going to use navigation. No. I think we need. So now let's do this way. So let's export. This one's delivery address. So we're going to write the interface for that. I'll write it in line. So I have to go. I won't need. So let's go to delivery address props. So this will be the props for the delivery address. So the first thing is the user ID. We will need the user ID. It's a string. We also need to select the address. So we'll need the selected address. And that will be of type user address because it's going to be an array, an object rather. So user address, let's bring it from our, so it has been imported. And then set selected address in case the address is changed. Set selected address, that's going to be void. So let's just do set current step. Set current step, and then we're going to have the index equal to number. Then we have the address. Let's go to equal to user address. So we're good to go. We can now come here and destructure them. So add delivery props. Let's take them out one after the other so we can use it. So we have selected address. We'll be using set selected address. We'll be using user ID. We'll be using set current step. We have index. We have address. So what we can do here is so we can continue now. Let's write our return. Let's put fragment as usual. So I don't error. So we can save it now. Let's import this address in our delivery screen so that we can have it on in real time. So let's bring it here. We can remove this now. So delivery address, yes, delivery address. Cool. So it will take the key. The key will be the index. That's the index that we passed here. You can see it's accepting it. Then get user ID. Get user ID will be equal to the user ID. Get user ID. No, there's no comma. Yes. And let's pass the rest. And we also have selected address. So we pass to select address. And we also set select address. And it's going to be function. So we pass to. Okay, let's just create this state. So let's create select address. Okay, use it. Oh, sorry. Sorry. We used it. So yeah, okay, that's empty. I'm going to pass our user address to it. So it's working out without an error. To remove this, bring this. This will be set selected address, and then it will be, so we're going to pass the address into it. Yeah, so we'll fix the one for the get user ID very shortly. Let's go back there. You can, okay, I think I know where the problem is coming from. Yes, they were supposed to be optional. All of this, they're supposed to be optional. Yes. So let's go back there. See, the arrow is no longer there. It's working fine. So for the, so let's go to our props. Okay, no, not props. It's here. So you know, this is supposed to be string or null. So that's why we have the error too. So it's has to be on null. Remember, that was what we passed. So it has to be string or null. So we come here now, we shouldn't have the error again. Yes, we don't have the error again anymore. So we can continue. There's still some other ones that we haven't added. Okay, we haven't set our current. So I think there's still set current step. Yes. So we're going to set current step. So it's a function. We're going to set current step. And we're going to set it equal to 1. The index. Yes, index was there. So index will be equal to index. And then the address, yes, we have the address, exactly. And the address will be equal to add. And there's no error anymore. So we're good to go. Let's fetch it from let's fetch from here. Let's go to our delivery address so we can fetch the delivery information. So let me start testing. Okay, just click that. ST, go to start sheet. Okay, so we lost type sheet in our React. Let's click on. Yes, let's start sheet there. We don't need all this. Let's start sheet. This will be single code basis. The single code basis. So we have side of create. Yeah, again now. We're going to have address box. And then we're going to have the second one. So we select. So we're going to have awesome. Let's see, we have, so we bring, where we get from now. Get, we have, yeah. So we found awesome here. Found awesome. The name. So go dot cycle, instead of found awesome. That's found awesome 5. So we have found awesome 5. Yes, and it's correct and precise. We try. Let's see the color of gray. And here's the cycle. So we have cycle now. Let's begin. So we have cycle. So we pass on press into this. Now press function, so we do set. Select the address. There's also cycle in here. Size and gray. That's it. So we'll continue. Now we'll come into our other component. Our other info here, yeah. And let's quickly import React. Let's come to our delivery address. Pick all this. Bring it here. Here. All this. React. So let's continue. And maybe just also have to write it. So this. There's anything right outside, I don't write it here, so I don't have to waste time. So let's call this other info props. We need the user ID, we need the address. Address info, it will be equal to user address. Selected address, select address, we need select address. When you set select address, set select address. So we're going to select address. When you set select address, wait. Get user ID. Select address. I think when you set current step, so we need to come up with what you need. So we're going to address info. What service using? other info groups. So it's all this other info. So fine. It will have return. It will have return. So here now we'll pass the address info. So here we'll pass the address info, and then we're going to pass the delivery info here. So it will display the delivery info. No, the first one we want to pass is actually, we want to pass the name, the first name and the last name all together. So we're going to, yes, the first name, then concatenation, and the last name. Let's say it's bringing everything up. So that's what we want to pass in. So it will display the first and the last name. So we'll come here. After the text, we are going to render end typo. We're going to give it a name. That's what we'll call location pin, right? Yes. Then we have size. The size will be 24. The color will be red. The color will be red. So the next one we want to take now. So we have a region, this was city. So mobile number. So let's come to our delivery address. So we're going to call this mobile number. Let's say mobile. Then we'll come here and say, let's render the view. So I'm going to press here. So let's press OK. So just click this one, press. So I'm going to text here. Copy edit. So I'm going to copy this. Almost the same. We're going to use this umbrella style around the same. Call this remove. Call this set as default. And that's all it needs to be here. So this is what we'll use to render the delivery address. We're going to render it in a box. So shortly you're going to see it. We'll render it in a box. So I think we're good to go. I think for now we're good to go. So let's go to our delivery address and display it. So this is our delivery address. So we're going to call the other. Let's call the other component. What did I call it? Other info, yes. And it has been imported. So we're going to have the address info. It will be equal to our add. It will be equal to our address. Where is it? This is equal to this. And the next one is selected address. No, we are supposed to get. Okay, let's just make the other parameters for now because we don't really require them. So let's just make them optional so we can move for now. We'll come back to them later if it's necessary. So I think we're good to go. So yes, we're good to go. So from our other info now. So to fetch the address now, we'll go to middleware. We'll go to our middleware. Our middleware is here, and let's create the middleware just the same way we created for our home. So we call delivery. Let's call it delivery middleware. Delivery middleware.tsx. And then we're going to import from React native, import React. And we need Axios too. Just when we click them. Is that the screen? Is that the it's from Axios here. No, Axios. Yeah, so we just import Axios from Axios. Yes. So that's what we need. So for the fetch is now just go to our home middleware and copy some of the function that we use there to fetch. Yes. So let's use this. Okay, let's use this possible. Let's use this. Copy this, maybe here, where's our middleware? The middleware. Maybe here. Then we're going to copy the props. Interface. So we call this fetch address. Fetch address, and then we need. Okay, let's go here. So we're going to say set address. Set address. We had what we call user address. User address, yes, so to import it. User address, import it, and then we also have a get user address. It's going to be string or null. It's going to be string or null. So we'll come here and destructure that. I also need to close this. So let's call this fetch. Let's call it get address props. So we'll get set address and get user ID. So we'll come here and we're going to make this. So let's say we added the user form. I want to give the type. So let's go to our props here, delivery props, and then we're going to quickly give it a type, just the way we did for during our own props. So I'll just write it, say interface user form, and then we'll data user address, user address itinerary. That's it. So it's user address itinerary. So we'll come here and then we'll make this equal to the form. So we import user form. And here we're going to get, this is going to be user, we're going to address this. And here we are passing the get user ID. That's what we're passing. So we can remove this get user ID, and inside that, so response.data is equal to, it will be equal to user ID address, because that was what we passed at the back. I will show you very shortly. And then here we're going to set address. So we're going to set address equal to user address. Yes, so everything is fine. We're good to go. So we can save these props. I'll come here and save this as well. Go to our delivery and use the use effect, just the same way we used back then during in our home screen. So we can actually copy the home screen and make it. Where's our home screen? Post component, where's our screen? Here's this home screen. So we can copy one of the use effects there. Yes, this is what I'm talking about. I hope you still remember that. So we can bring this out, come to our, where's our delivery screen? Yes, delivery screen. Well, we can actually bring it here and then remove all these. Now we're going to call the fetch address. Yes, the fetch address, you can see it's bringing it up here, and then it's equal to, we're passing two things there. It's an object of get user ID, you can see, and then set address. Exactly. That's it. Then we also want to use the use focus. Oh, there's the home screen. We also want to use the use focus effect. Let's copy it. Delivery screen. Bring it here. Take all this out. And pass this into it as well. So the major problem actually came unbelievable. From our back end, we return user address. That's U, capital U and small letter S. We return capital U and small letter S, and see where the problem came from. We are returning capital S, you can see, and it came from the props. So let's go to the props. You see, instead of user, this is what we're supposed to return. You're supposed to return this, and then you can just imagine, just small letter capital. So we're supposed to return this. Yeah. So let's save our props, and then let's save our middleware, and then we'll have, you can imagine, and this is it. We have our information at the front. So that's the thing. At least the most important thing now is we have been able to fetch the information from the back end. So right now, let's quickly format this part. It's not looking beautiful the way it is here. So we'll go to our order info. Yes, I think we wrote some CSS down here. Where is it? No, not our order info. Here's our delivery address. So for the address box, so we're going to add border width. That's fine. Padding. Bottom of 5. Border radius of 6. So good. We're getting there gradually. So let's bring our radio inside the box. So select radio. We're going to see padding. Okay, good. Let's use direction. Should be enough. Correct. Right. So We need to align the item. Align item center. Cool. This is good, isn't it? So we are going to give it up. Let's give it up for 5. Good. New body bottom. I think that's 17. Margin vertical. Let's give margin vertical to 7. Give border radius. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, which is good, right? So let's go. That's what it is. So let's go. So we need to write the select function so that we can select the address and make it our address. And we haven't written that. So come here and say if selected address is true. That means if user selected address, if you select any of the address, so we're going to target the address. So we're going to target the ID of that address the user selected and compare it with the address array that we got from the back end. And if it's true, then this is what we'll do. So if they correspond, if they are the same, we look for the address from the selected address and compare them. So if it's true, we'll now do this. Press. So let's say the current step. What's the current step? Start. So start. So let's start. So let's deliver to this address. So the background color. Let's give it a button. So we do. You can see when the user select, see it's bringing it up. So if we come back here, you see. So quickly let me add another address so that we can have 2 addresses there. So you can see how we select. Then the name of the address, let's change it. Let's give it a space. Where is it? Let's order info. I think we didn't get the where's the concatenation? Yes, it's here. So let's give it space. Cool. Yeah, it's beautiful now. So quickly let me add another address. You can see this is beautiful, isn't it? Let me add another address. So let's add this address now. Cool. Address added successfully, and you can see what happened. It updated it immediately. You can see we have the address here, immediately updated it. So that's cool. That's because of the use focus effect. So if we can toggle now, you can see this is beautiful, isn't it? So we can toggle between 2 address. So that's what this function is doing here. There's our address array. Yes, that's the function. So it's checking for the one that we selected, that the user selected, and then it will toggle and bring the deliver address to this address based on what deliver select. So if you select this the first one, you see toggled it, and if you select the second one, you can see. So we're now saying on press, if it press the deliver to this address. So based on what the user pressed, it will change the current step, and then we're going to increase the current step so that it will take us to the next slide. So we're able to get the update from use focus effect here. So this is the step. This is the current step we are at now. That's step 0, and then you can see we brought in the delivery address component here, and we can see how we're setting everything. We set the user to the user ID, the current ID of the user, and then the selected address. So we are getting the selected address from the prop, the parameter from what delivery address, and we are matching it to what the selected address. So we're matching it to the selected address, and the selected address is from our use state. So we're keeping track of it. It's the selected address, our use state, so, and it's looking into the user address prop, and it's what is an object. So that's why it's saving everything, and it will save and hold all the objects. Let's come here now and see. You will see that I console.log selected address. You see, because the user haven't chosen anything, and that's why it's showing empty. As soon as it chooses one, you can see it becomes a selected address. And then If I change it now, you see it will change too. Cool. You can see it changed, and there are two different addresses there. You can see this one is sector 67D and this is 654B, so showing that okay, it's responsive. So we might take that out too. So you see, it will not change our current step. Once the user press on the deliver to this address, it will change the current step from 0 to 1, and that will lead us toward the next page. And then we keep track of that. This is where we are consuming the address. So that's it. I think we're good to go. So let's continue. Delivery props, we might not need it anymore. So we'll now come here and say, if current step is equal to 1, then run this code. Oh, we're supposed to be out of this place. Yes, that's why the problem is coming from. Yes, we're supposed to be out of that step. Yes, exactly, from here. Yeah, it's correct now. It's correct now. So let's bring this in here. So I'm going to select. Let me select the first one, and then so that we can go to the next, to that next page. Beautiful. You can see, and you can see it's marked. It has marked step 1, just the same way we wrote it initially. So it has marked it, and then it has given it a background color of what? Of green. This is cool, isn't it? So we can continue. We'll see. So we'll come here, and then we're going to use option. Have we created option? Let me check. Do we have option state for option? No. So let's use this for it. Let's set option. So our option is going to take boolean. Let's say option yes. So if option is true, do this, else. So let's quickly just bring our font awesome. Where's our font awesome? Our delivery address. Yes. Okay, let's just copy this. So it's step 1. Let's go step 1. Yes. Go this one too. We'll come faster. Exactly. So it's our type here. So we set option to opposite of the correct option. We'll give it dot cycle. Let's make this 24, color green. And give it a style of x1. Take the color green. So then let's bring our pressable. We had a pressable. We had a pressable that we used here. Let's bring that. Oh, not here. Oh, inside delivery address. We kept going back to delivery address. Yes, this pressable. So we're going to set. We're going to set current step 42. Let's go to number should be 40. Okay, understand. Set current step 42. So let's continue. So we're going to call. We need to add this CSS there. So let's just copy it and bring it here. Let's go to option selected. Cool. So let's select again. And then this is cool, isn't it? So let's make it margin top 15. Cool. Yeah, it's beautiful this way. So before we toggle to the next step, let's write this step. That's step 3. That's step 2. So let's delete this. So it's our current step. So current step equal to 2. This will do. So overview. I'll give this style. And then horizontal. Sorry. So we select this and then go cool. This is beautiful. See, it has been selected too. So we do the step 3. So this is where we're going to do the payment. So let's give it a title, select your payment method, and we're going to be accepting 2 payment methods, cash and bank. Cool. So we're going to be writing the payment inside another component. So quickly, let's go to our delivery component. So inside our delivery component, let's add. We're going to be doing 2 payment methods. So cash payment method, cash payment option, and card payment option. So let's write cash payment option .tsx, and then let's write for card as well. Cool. Payment method .tsx. So quickly we'll be working with these 3. So let's start with the payment method. So after step 2, let's go there. We need a front person. Let's write our payment. So let's write interface. So let's call it. Let's call it setting property selected. Payment option. Give string and then set selected. So let's come here and write for cash payment. Let's write the method for. So let's write for the cash payment option, and then we'll come here. Just copy everything here. I'm going to be needing quite some of them. Bring it here. And then here, okay. Let's make it cash props. Oh, we need a selected address. This will be the total. This will be the cash payment. And then we need the total number. The total will be a number. We're going to call this cash payment, selected address. So we're going to have selected address, cash payment, and total. We're going to have margin. Let's have margin horizontal. Okay, this is our payment method because it's actually a function for the user to select the cash payment method. Yes, it's a function for the user to select the cash payment method. So let's just call it cash payment method. Cash payment method. Let's change this to cash payment method. Cash payment method. So let's change this to cash payment method, and then this our cash payment. So that's where we actually wrote the. So let's change that. That's where we will actually write the code for the cash payment. The first one, the cash payment method, is just for us to select if we want to use the cash payment method. Then if the person select the cash payment method, there will now be information relating to cash payment. So this one is supposed to be cash payment. So it's not an option. So based on the option selected, once the user select cash payment, so this will be what? So we will now display what the cash payment interface UI will now be displayed. So let's get that. So this is cash payment. So let's come here and bring cash payment method. Cash payment method, yes. And our cash payment method will have the selected payment, the selected payment option. So we need to write the selected payment option too. Let's just copy this. Let's copy this and so we can use it to write the selected payment option. And then we're going to set selected payment option. It's going to be a string. So selected payment option and set selected payment option. Okay, it's correct. So we'll come here and make it equal to what? Selected payment option. So selected payment option. And then when the selected payment option, we want to get the set selected payment option. So since we're under cash, this is cash. So we're going to set selected payment option, and it will be equal to cash here. Remember the cash, the C is capital letter. That was what we wrote here. Where is it? Cash payment option. Where is it? You can see it here. It's cash. So if you don't write it exactly this way, you will not get the correct value. You will not get the correct value. It might not even show, or it will throw an error. So make sure whatever you write there, they are the same. So cash, and that's it. So if you come back here, because of the use state, so it has to. So you can see, cool, isn't it? So if I bring this now, you can see it's active. That means they're working correctly. So now we can. So let's write for the card payment option first then. So let's copy the cash payment method. Copy everything from here, bring it to card payment method. And I just copy. So let's copy card. So it's card payment props. So this is the payment option, So we will have undo payment. And the current step. So let's copy card payment method. So we have undo payment. We have current step. 1, 2, 3, 4, yes. Yeah, what we do. So everything is. Let's grab it open. Let's bring this inside here. So here instead of cash, we have card. We have card here, the font for some remains the same. Let's have our type here, we want to do something else. So our type we want to do on press. So I can go to the payment card payment, so we'll write it differently. So we'll write. We'll pass in the function into it. So instead of set, select the payment option, select the payment option. Then we're going to use the alert. Let's make all that here. So we're going to bring alert, alert, and alert, and we're going to say pay. Pay with debit card. Pay online. So, and then it's going to bring, have an array of object, and then it will be, so the user want to continue or cancel. So when the user presses cancel, we want to run a function. The function will be, let's say console.log cancelled. So run another function and then call it text proceed. Proceed, I want to have an on press. And on press, so we'll now handle payment. That's it. And then we're good to go. This one remains the same. So let's bring the onPress function down here. So we can have it here. So it makes sense this way, right? Yes. And then we want to change this word to card payment. Card payment. So we wrote, let's go back to our screen here. Step 1. I think we had a pressable in step 1 here. Yes. So let's take this. We need this. So we'll come here with our card payment. This is our card payment. Outside here, we will write this is pressable. So when pressable is that. So pressable. So on press, we're going to say current step. And then we're going to have continue. Let's bring the start. I think what's the option? What option set is? So let's bring it here. So I'm going to say Ecommerce SD equal to start sheet. Create. So we'll go like this. So let's see. So I think we're good to go. So let's go to our screen, delivery screen, and then bring that into, yeah, we're going to bring it in here. So we're going to have card payment option, card payment method. And it's going to bring, let's have the fixed selected payment option equal to selected payment option. Then we would have a set selected payment option. So that will be equal to, so we need to write, okay, we need to write selected payment option. And that will be card. Then handle payment. Yes, handle payment will be equal to handle payment. We have not created that function. We'll create it shortly. Handle payment. Then we have current step. So current step will be function set current step. And then we're going to set it equal to 3. So the only thing missing here now is the handle payment. So let's quickly write handle payment function. So let's say const handle payment equals. So for now, let's just leave it this way. And good, you can see this is beautiful, isn't it? This is beautiful and clean, and you can see it's bringing it up. Pay with debit card, pay online, and if I cancel, it goes back. And if I go to, you see, this is beautiful, isn't it? Where's our card payment? I'm thinking we should bring these out here. Let's see, let me do it this way. So I come here and bring continue. You're still inside. Just to be inside here. This is it. Current step. No. So what is it? Current step. Current step. What to do? Yes. Let's remove from here and see. Go. So let's go. I think it makes sense this way. Yes, should be here. Okay, we don't need this anymore, and then we can remove it from here. So come to our screen here, current step. Okay, we don't need that anymore, so we can remove it from here. No longer required. So and it's showing us, because we see console, it should show us from the console it, and it's showing us that we cancelled. So having done all this now, let's first write the component for cash payment. So I'll be a little faster with that because there's so many things I need to write. So to handle cash payment now, let's come back to this. Okay, So we have a text. So we go back and copy this one as well. So we're good to go. So far we've been able to write a UI, the UI for the cash payment. So all this information has been written. So we just go to the front to our delivery screen to bring it up. We import it in our delivery screen so that you can see what we've done so far. From there, I think it's better. It'll be better that way. So we'll come to our delivery screen. Our delivery screen here will say we'll come here and then we'll say we'll write this condition if current step equal to 3, if current step equal to 3, and the selected payment method is very important. The selected payment option is equal to cash. These are the two criteria we are giving there. And remember, in our cash, the C is capital. It's very important. So if it's equals, if the current step is equal to 3 and the selected payment option is cash, then run this code. So that's what we want to do here. So we can now bring in our cash payment. Where's cash payment? We'll bring in cash payment. Yes, this cash payment. And then So we'll write the props inside there. We have the first one, selected address. It's very important. I want to capture the address of the user, the address that will deliver the product to. So we have to pick that. So selected address. So we want to display the selected address so that he can see. So we're going to pick it, selected address from, and then we had, so let's pick selected address and then last name. Cool, isn't it? Then we have the total. The total will be total. We'll get the total from our cart. That's from our use selector. So we need to bring in use selector, and then we want to handle cash payment. We are going to write that code to cash payment. So far, this is cash. Let's use small letter here so that we're going to handle. Okay, let's write handle cash payment. Handle cash payment. Yes. So we'll go to our cart screen. From our cart screen, we'll bring in the. I think we have the use selector and the total, the cart total. I think it was there. So see, yes, the total. So we're bringing this total. That's what we need to bring in here. So we need to bring these two, rather. We need to bring both the cart and the cart total. Let's bring the two here. So I hope we've imported that before. Yeah, so we're using cart state. We won't be needing this. Let's bring it out. Let's remove it. So you see it's here. We are using, where's our use selector? Yes, we're using use selector here. Then we're using the cart state. So we'll just come back and clean this up. We'll remove the ones that we don't need. So but so far we have the cart, we're using the use selector, and then we're using the cart state, and that's it. So for the handle cash payment, so to do the handle cash payment, there's one more thing we need to do. We need to get the order. We need to prepare the order. So but let's go to handle cash payment. Let's write the code here. Okay, we can just copy this and duplicate. So we're going to call it handle cash payment, and everything is fine now. So inside this handle cash payment now, we are going to render. Okay, let's say if I choose cash payment now. So let's choose cash payment. If I choose cash payment now, you can see we are there, and then it's still not displaying yet. So let's come here. That was supposed to do that we haven't done. Current step and this. Okay, let's do that again. Again, it's the cash. Cool, this is beautiful, isn't it? So there's something wrong with the item. Let's go and check that out. But you can see this is beautiful. So let's go back to our cash payment and check the shipping information. Ship to, okay, here. This is where the issue is. So let's quickly fix that. Okay, this is where the problem is. It's not supposed to be flex direction. Cool, that's it. This is what we wanted. So it's the flex direction that caused the problem. So I think we're cool. It's cool now. So this is what we wanted. Cool, this is beautiful, isn't it? And then here we can give it. Okay, I think we're good to go. So we're good to go now. So the next thing we'll do is to handle the cash payment. Now we need to do the order. So to prepare the order, so we'll come to our delivery screen here, and let's bring out the order. Let's have const. So let's pull the product. So let's call it const order object. So we need the user ID that is equal to get user ID. To be equal to the get user ID, we need the cart item. The cart item will be equal to cart. Remember, all the cart item is saved inside the cart. It's saved inside the cart here. Yes, that's where everything is saved. Then we also need the total price. The total price will be equal to total. And then we also need the shipping address. Yes, the address. Shipping address. The shipping address will be equal to selected address. Yes, selected address. And then we also need payment method. Payment method. The payment method will also be equal to selected payment option. So that's it. This is all we need to bring. So we can now come in here inside our cash payment. Inside our cash payment, we can now say please order by cash. So we need to write the function for place order by cash, and we'll get that. We'll go to our delivery middleware. Let's write that function first. So let's comment this out and go to our delivery middleware. All right, please order by cash. Delivery middleware. Let's bring it here. So it's going to take some props. We're going to say please order. Let's call it please order props. And it's going to take an object because we're actually using an object, order object. So we're going to call it, let's call it order object as well. So we will call user ID, which is string. We will have cut item. We had cut item. Cut item also will be of product list. So it's supposed to bring product. Okay, see the reason why it's not bringing it up. It's supposed to be a column, and we're supposed to have product. You can see it's bringing it from product cart. Yes, and it will be an array. It's an array. So it's an array. Oh. Then we have total price. Total price will be number. We have shipping address. What is it? User address. So it's equal to user address. We already have user address here. So it's equal to user address. So we have payment method. Payment method is string. The payment method is string. So we'll come here, let's write the function to place our order. So let's just copy these and adjust them. It's going to be similar. So let's say please order by cash. Please order by cash. So it's going to be equal to please, what did we call it here? Please order props. Copy it and bring it here. Please order props. And then we're just going to get the order object. Order object. Cool. That's all we need to do here. We'll come here, response. The response. So we're going to get, and we're going to call it orders. So we'll quickly create that so we can submit our order, and it's going to be a post request. So it's going to be a post request. And then we're sending our order object into there, and it will be a post request. Cool, everything is fine. So we'll come here, if response, we'll say if response, if the response is equal to response.status, yes, we can have response.status is equal to 200, that means the order has been placed. That means, so alert order placed successfully. So we will bring in the alert there. So we'll have, let's close this, and then let's bring in our alert from React Native. Alert. Cool, everything is fine. So we can call it now from our delivery screen. Then we go to the backend and submit. So we can have this now, order by cache. Good, is bringing it up, and then we're going to make it's an object. So it's going to take our order object, and it will be equal to what? Order object. So it's null here. Let's come here. Okay, yes, it's supposed to be because we are passing a null value. It's supposed to be null as well. So everything is fine now. So user ID string or null. And where is it here? Our delivery screen. It's no longer throwing an error. Yes, you can see everything is fine. So everything is fine. We can move on, and down we will have the dispatch. We're going to be passing a dispatch. Once it's successful, we want to pass the dispatch function. So let's get the dispatch. So let's write that here. So let's say const dispatch is equal to use dispatch. It's const. So we'll bring the dispatch here, and then that dispatch will be equal to empty. Remember we had empty cart. Inside our Redux Toolkit, we had empty cart, so it will empty the cart, and then we can navigate using navigation. We'll go back to the home screen. So navigate, and then we're going to write it this way. See, it's so cool. You can see, just imagine the power of TypeScript. So we bring in because the home screen is inside the tab stack. So we call that, and inside the tab stack, we have screens. Just imagine that. So we have screen, and then just imagine what's happening. It's going to bring it. You can imagine it's bringing all the screen inside the bottom tab, the tab stack. This is cool, isn't it? Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. Thank you very much. This is powerful, isn't it? So that's all about it. So quickly we'll go to the backend. Let's write the API. Let's write the submit function at the back end. So quickly we'll come to our order model. We'll create an order model rather. So we'll come to here. Let's create orders model. Orders model.ts. And please notice the difference. When I'm in the front end, I'm using TSX, but at the back end, I'm using TS. Please observe that. Notice that. It's very important. So let's copy. Okay, yes, it's unique. So I'll put it like that. Put it like that. On goes. And then I'll bring in schema. Then what's my video? I need to write the other params. Yes, my video is write the other params. Orders.ts. So let's write export interface. Oh, instead of writing it, then just go to. I'm not writing for sake. You can just take from product params. It's the same. So let's take this. Except for at this point now we'll need an ID. Okay, let's write it. Interface. Product item. So we'll replace all these with an ID at this point. It's going to be a string. We'll take the name, we'll take the category, and make sure it's serialized. So we'll take the name, we'll take the category, and they can be all optional. For images, we have price, we need all price. So that's one last time regularities. We'll need description as well. So we want description, we're not put there. So we have price, we have quantity, we have stock. We want length. So I'm going to say export interface product item, and then we're going to export product item. It's going to be an array of product item. And then we're going to write export. So we're going to have export. We're going to have interface. Then we cast state. So we're having our cart for the product item, and then we'll have the length. The length is number. The length will be number. We'll also be using total price. So we'll also be using total price. Total price is equal to number. Then we'll have other params. Let's go to other params. We'll have the user ID, which will be equal to string. We'll have the cart item, I think yes, we have cart item. Cart item will be product, it will be equal to product item. And we'll have an array, so we'll have an array. We have the total price. We have the total price. The total price will be equal to the total price, which is okay. And then we have the shipping address, everything for the shipping address. Shipping address is going to be equal to user address, and we have user address prop. Yes. So we can import user address props that we had the other time from user. So it's import that here, you can see. So it's the same, we're going to use another key, so we have to write it. So we're going to use, we have payment method. And payment method. we're going to create this payment method. So let's say export interface, and then let's call it interface payment method. So it will be payment method will be as a shipping. So the payment method. So I will go 1, 2, 3. So I will go. That's all we need right for now. So the next one now we'll create our other model. So quickly I'm going to create that quickly. The model. So we have const. So we have const orders schema. It's going to be new schema. So let's go to user. We're going to get that from type. That will be mongo's.schema, and then dot types.object ID. Object ID, and the reference will be from user. So if we get it from user model, from user also we require yes, it's true. Require is true. It's required. It's very important. And next we have a product. There's a product. The product again, because we have a product is the object. So we have a name. Type string. Require is true. So let's just copy this. So quantity. Let's make this. Doesn't matter, just like that way. So quantity, type of number. And require is true. We want to have price. Price is type of number. Require is true. We want to have images. Remember our images is an array. So images is going to be an array of objects. That's the thing. The type is also string. Require is true. I think that's all for now. So we're going to have product, and then we'll have total price. Okay, let's just paste this here one time. This will be a number. Maybe total price. Then we'll have shipping address. Shipping address. Shipping address will be an object. It's not an array, but it's an object. It's an object of object. That's cool, right? So inside shipping we'll have first name. So we'll get an object. We type of string, and the required is true. Then we'll have last name. This type of string required is true. We have email. So this string required is true. We also have mobile number. And it's very important to use the same name for the same name. So I don't try error. The same name use the front end when we're registering these users. The user, the address info, delivery info. The user delivery address info. It's very important. I use it like one of the errors or issues. So we'll say mobile number. Then mobile number is a string. So we have delivery info. Delivery info is also a string. And then we have region. We use region to as a string. And then we have city. So that's it. So that's about shipping address. The next one is payment method. Payment method. Okay. Just write payment method here. Just like this. Payment method is also a string, but it's also required. So I think how I would go. So then you can be user model and then copy one to this time. So you can see they're almost the same. That's everything the same name. So it's very important. This one is one error. What happened? It's up to you. So I'm going to copy these and just copy all this. And use model, control. Okay, remove this. This. So create that. Delete default, delete no. Payment method here. So I'm going to call this orders log. So let's call this orders log. Orders log. Call this orders log. Mongo's log. So orders params. And then we're going to create. It's going to create. Let's call it orders. And it's order schema. So order schema, and then we want to export orders log. So we want to export orders log, and that's all about our orders model. So we'll quickly come into so let's add orders. Let's create from our controller. Let's create orders controller. Order controller.ts. And then let's bring product controller so that we can just copy some things there. Product controllers. Yes, just copy all this. Some of these we'll need for now. We need product. So we need together. So now let's move up our product. Now orders controller. Let's import these. We don't need this one now. So we need product. So quickly let's add the order. So I'll do this. I will say add order. Let's go take an async function. Async request will be equal to request, and then response will be equal to response. Yes, so let's just try catalog. Let me just copy from here so I don't waste time. So add order. Yes, let's copy the try catalog here. Okay, let's take this out. So let's use this try catalog, remove this. So we're going to take const, we're going to structure the product or the information sent from the front end. So the structure, we're going to say what to require the body. And then we're going to be passing our orders params. Yes, orders params. So that's what passing right there. And then it's going to give us access to user ID. Yes, user ID will have access to cart item. Let's const user await. So let's take from user log. So we need to find the ID to ensure that the user is actually has account and active account. So we're going to give ID. That's the first thing we want to do. So if we user, what's the product controller? What's the product? No, it doesn't. It's user controller. It's the same thing. So we just go to user controller. That's it. So we'll just come here. If user return the status 404 message user not found. That's it. Else we'll let's create the array of product object. Let's create the product object. Sorry, remove that. I say product object. So we're going to take our cart item and we're going to map through it. We're going to make the name equal to item.name. You see, it makes sense, right? ID. Then we're going to have quantity. We're going to have price. So yes, we used price. We're going to have item.price, and we're going to have images. We used images too. Images will be item. So now we can create a new order. So let's just create new order. So const, let's say add new order. So we're going to say new. So we're going to say orders log, user ID. Okay, no, I think we call the use. Let's say user. Yeah, user ID. Then we have product. Remember, we have product in our, so we are calling these things up exactly. So you see, we used product and we used user here, so they're not the same name, so we have to write it that way. We have to write it this way then. So it will be equal to our product object. It will be equal to the product object, and then here I think we have total price. Yes, total price. Total price will be equal to total price. We have shipping address. If you like, you can just leave it the same, since it's the same name. If the name is the same, you can just leave it. Payment method. I don't want to run it. So payment method, that's all. So we can now await, add new order, dot save. So there's another thing we want to do. When we add a new order, when a new order is added, the quantity in stock ought to reduce. It's supposed to reduce the quantity in stock. And I know a lot of people have also asked on how to do this, so I'm just going to write that now and show you how it is done. Yeah, so we just say const. So we'll pick the cart item and map through it. And inside the map, we'll pass the async and pass item. So it will wait for the order to be placed and saved before we now update. That's the idea. That's the major reason why people don't actually get it done. So this is what's supposed to happen. So we'll write a query now. The query will be const result. Wait. So we're going to product, into our product schema, and then find one and update. No, find one and update. Find one and update. That's what we want. Find one and update. So we will look into the ID. We will look into the ID. The ID will be item. So since we already have it, so it will be item.id. That's the ID we will use. That's the ID of the product. The product for each product will get the ID of those products. Each product that the user just placed an order on, that the order has been placed successfully. So we'll quickly get the ID of each of those products. That's what it's saying. And then we will use what we call. So we do quantity, and the quantity will be, so we tell it to reduce it. So it will be item.quantity. And that's all we need to do. So it's saying quantity item is possibly undefined. So if I bring it down here, so you can see the error. So undefined, I know where the error is coming from. The error is coming from our Yes, where is it? Yes, here. So it's not supposed to be undefined. It's not supposed to be optional. You see the error is gone. So we save it here, and then we also come here and save it. So you see the error is gone, and then we're good to go. So we're good to go. And then the next thing we need to save the new order. So add new order dot save. We need to do that again, and then now we now bring a response. So let's get response 200. So we have a response here. So let's response 200 and then message. Let's send the message, and the message will be equal to, let's say, order created successfully. That's all we need to do. So order created successfully, and if it's an error, throw the error. So if it's an error, let's just throw the error. Go, let's export everything here. We need to export it. Where's our controller? So let's export everything. So yes. So let's go. So come to our route. Let's come to route and read route. We're going to call it route. So compose these, compose these. Compose these also, let's bring our user route. You already have the user route here. Import express. We have this, okay. So we have let's order route. So we have order route now. We don't need this. And we need all this. So we're going to get. Let's go for orders. And then we're going to add order. We have add orders. Yes, some controller. That's it. And then we'll export everything as orders route. We're going to export everything as orders route. So everything now we can. So we'll come to our express. Okay, we need to use the index dot. Yes, and export everything as orders route. Orders route. Cool, everything is working fine. So we'll come to our express app. And let's bring in our orders route. That's it. That's all we need to do. Let's save it. This is cool, isn't it? So if everything works out fine, we should be able to place our order from the cache. So we go here, say here, come here, choose cache, continue, and the last stage now, if everything works out fine, we'll have our order placed successfully. Let's go. Cool, this is beautiful, isn't it? Order placed successfully, and you can see the cart is empty, is equal to 0, and everything worked out very well, very well. This is cool, everything is working fine. So remember to subscribe, share, like, and give it thumbs up. So quickly, without wasting time, let's go and create the online payment. So to create the online payment, I'm going to be using a gateway called Paystack. And a lot of people have complained that they've not been able to integrate Paystack with React Native. Don't worry, we're going to cover that now. And they're not just doing it with React Native alone. You're going to be integrating Paystack with React Native using TypeScript. So it's double for you. And for other gateway, you can just share from the method, and then I'm sure it's going to help you integrate from your own gateway that you choose. So quickly, we'll go there now and get Paystack integration started. So to do that, we'll come back to our delivery screen. So to do this now, we are going to quickly import, we need to install 2 packages. So we need to install Paystack Web View, and then we also need to install React Native Web View. So navigate to CD. It is very important that you navigate to the appropriate folder. So we want to install it inside Ecommerce app. So we are going to say npm install I think React Native, I think it's called React Native Web View. I think it's React Native Web View. And then we also want React Native Paystack Web View. React Native Paystack. I think it's Web View. Let me check so don't make mistake. Oh, see what I just talked about. Instead of npm, I wrote something else. So I wrote nmp and so our packages have been installed. Good. We have React Native Web View and we have React Native Paystack Web View. So we can continue with that. So we can continue. We have so we'll come here now. So we need to install React Native Paystack. We need to import it rather. I think that's the last thing we're about to do now to complete this whole project. So before we do that, let's come here. Let's come here because we are doing handle payment up here. So let's come here and write const. Let's say const pay and set pay. We're going to use useState. And it's going to take boolean. And the initial step will be false. So we're good to go. And then we're going to write another one. And for now, let's make it any. We're going to say selected address dot email. So we're good to go. So we'll come into here and say into handle payment, and then we'll say if email, we need to check and be sure that there's an email so that we can send message to the user, delivery information. So it's very important that email it's present, that the user has an existing email, and then total, we need a total price. So if they're true, then we'll set pay. We'll set the true, so I can run. We'll set pay to true. And that's all. Else, we want to send the message back. So for now, we're going to use the console log. For now, we're going to use the console log field. Ordinarily, we want to tell the user the field what? All the fields. Then let's quickly write the function for the payment, for the Paystack payment. So we'll come here, we'll come to step. So we can come here, we can write it here. So let's write our Paystack payment here. So we're going to say if pay is equal to true. So if pay is equal to true, if pay is equal to true, then run this following function. So we'll bring in Paystack. Yes, Paystack from React Native Web View. Cool, and we're going to pass some props into it. So we're going to pass the phone. We're going to call it selected address dot mobile number. We're going to pass the amount, and the amount will be total. We're going to pass the billing email. Billing email will be new email, correct? So we're going to pass the billing name. Billing name will be selected address dot name dot, okay, let's just use dot first name. The currency will be in Nigeria, will be Nigerian currency. So Paystack key, you need a Paystack key. So when you go to Paystack, you will see when you need to register with Paystack, they will give you, so from there you can get your test key. So you can just get that from Paystack. You get your test key from Paystack. So I already have my test key. So to get your own test key, you just need to register an account with Paystack, and from there you get your test key. You follow the prompt there, you see the test key. Please don't use your secret key. This is a public key. It is called test. So we can always use the test key because we are just using for tutorial sake. But in live situation, in real life situation, you will be using your secret key. I think what I'll do, because time is fast spent, I'm going to create another tutorial solely for Paystack payment. So we'll just cover the whole thing. I'll show you how to generate your test key, how to register everything. So we may not be going through that. So watch out for that tutorial, and you can let me know what you feel like about it in the comment section. So I'm going to use on console. On console, I'm going to use a response, and the response, I'm going to make it equal to any, the type of any. Sorry, the response is type of any. And let's call that function. So let's call that function, let's say const. So transaction, the transaction ref, the message. So let's say if response object is equal to approved, if response object is equal to approved, then response object is equal to approved, then we're going to run the function call. So what's that response? So with Axios, so we're just going to post the request to delegate from our post request here. So that's the same. So Axios the post, I'm going to use this API. Sorry, we're supposed to pass the async function on success. This is, sorry, I made a mistake. So this should be on success. Let's pass the on console. On console will be response equal to any, and then let's console the log the response. That's it. So and on success we want to pass an async function. So there should be an async function here. Yes, there will be an async function. So we need to import Axios too. Axios. So everything is working out fine. Very shortly you will see that. So we want to have, so if response is equal to approved, then Axios will take us and we want to send the order. So after sending the order, we want to use an alert. Alert. I want to say order. We want to say order placed successfully. Order placed successfully. And then we want to render our dispatch here too. So dispatch it will be equal to empty cart. And then console the log. Let's use console the log. Console the log. Let's see, order created successfully. So on success to be double S, correct. And everything is fine. There's no error anymore. And that's it. And then we'll come here and write auto start. So auto start will set it to pay. Correct. Everything is working fine. So I think that's all we need to do. And if everything is fine, we should be able to have access to. So we're having an error because there was nothing wrong with what we've written. There's nothing wrong with the code, the Paystack code that we've written. There's nothing wrong. Everything is absolutely fine. Believe me, I didn't change anything. What actually happened was with our package.json, and it usually happened that way. So I'll just explain to you in case you fall into that same problem. Yeah, this is just what it's saying. When I installed the React Native.web view, that React Native web view, so it gave me a version that is not compatible with what I'm doing. That's why it's throwing an error. So you don't have to freak out. Just go back to, all you just need to do, stop the server, restart the server. When you restart the server, at the point when you are using that npx export start, when the metro board line is trying to load, so it will bring those issues. It will tell you that, okay, there are some dependencies, there are some packages. You will see it. It will highlight it in yellow, that, okay, this is the current package, the current version of this package is this, but this is what is expected. Majorly, it's likely going to throw that error for the React Native web view. Yes. So that web view, just make sure you update
update that React Native Web View to the latest package, to the one it's suggesting. It will tell you the one you have currently on your package.json, but it will be telling you that this is the one he wants you to use. So just copy and use that one. And all you just need to do is you just come and say, let's say npm, so you can say npm React, let's say React Native Web View. Sorry, we'll just say npm install React Native Web View. Then you now put at. So you now put you just put the, what's it called, the version. So you just put the version. Like before, the version was in 13.86. So I've installed that now. So I'm just telling you so that you know what to do. So you just say 0.86. That's it. So that's what you just need to do, and install all the best thing, the safe thing to do is just use the version that is suggesting for all the packages that is highlighted in yellow, so that you won't have any issue. But majorly that React with Native Web View, if you don't use the suggested package version, you won't be able to use that Paystack. That's the major problem people are running into, and I don't know, they've gone haywire trying to fix it using different methods. But that's just what you need to do. Just listen to it, copy, install the packages as suggested by the Metro bundler. Then another thing you can do is you can close the VS Code. Make sure all your code are saved. Close the VS Code and reopen. Then you now do a new package.json, so that it can recognize the latest version that you have updated. And make sure that by the time you are doing the next npx.expo start, those yellow stuff are no more there. If they are not there, that means you have installed according to the suggestion, so that you won't run into any problem. That's what just happened. So that's what you just need to do. I don't need to reinstall here now because I already did that. I've already upgraded it, and that's all. So let's go back to our delivery screen, and you can see everything is working fine. I didn't do anything. I didn't add to the code, and I didn't subtract from the code. The only thing I did was just to install the latest version, or not necessarily the latest version. I just installed based on the suggestion when I was running the Metro bundler again. So that's just it. So that's just a thing. So, and everything is fine. So let's add some product so we can check them out. So I'm going to come here, let's add bag. We're going to add bag successfully. Let's add another product. Okay. So let me add this TV. Let me add this. So product. So I'm just going to add this 2 for now, so we can go to the checkout. So let's make this 2. Let's make this 3. So 3, yeah, everything updated successfully. So I have, this is beautiful, isn't it? So okay, let me choose. We already used this name for the first one, so for the cash payment, so let's use this for the card payment. So that's it. So deliver to this address, then we can go, and then you see, this is beautiful, isn't it? And it will, once I press proceed, it will take me to Paystack gateway. This is lovely. This is beautiful, isn't it? You can see, wow, we have Paystack live and everything is there. You can see it's using the Gmail of the user, and then the price, everything. And then if I press success, if you press decline, it will decline it and take you back. Okay, let me use decline first. If you use decline now and press pay, it will decline it. You can see, and you say cancel payment. If you cancel payment, you see it went back. Everything is working out fine. So let's now pay. So we'll go ahead. Okay, since we've canceled the payment, so let's reinitiate the whole process. Good, card payment, and that's cool. This is beautiful, isn't it? Wow. So on success, let's pay. Wow, payment successful, and you can see this is beautiful. Order placed successfully, and we've gone back to our home screen and clean. Everything, the cart is empty. So that's it. And with that, we've come to the end of this project. Please do ensure to subscribe, like, and share. And I also expect to see feedback from you in the comment section. Tell me what you want me to build. Tell me some of the issues you want me to address. Tell me the next project that will fascinate you, that okay, we can get good votes on that. I will just work on the project and then bring it to you live. Keep the energy pumped up. Subscribe, share, comment, and like. I'll really appreciate it. You know, it's not really easy to make all this project. You gotta work yourself out. And I also believe in the link for the source code into the description box, so you can check it for the source code. And then I appreciate your contribution. Thank you very much. I look forward to see you in the next project.